Good morning, and thank you for being here for the monthly update of the Hedge Investment Credit Fund for the month of April. April was a small down month for us, around 60 basis points, predominantly due to our position in Telecom Italia, which had a down move in the equity due predominantly to the underwhelming offers that came from both KKR and CDP Macquarie. We do believe it's just part of the national negotiation. We do believe that the government definitely wants to keep control of the network, and we think that that urge that the Italian government has is something that we will see in many other governments very soon, especially because of the advent of artificial intelligence and the very powerful chatbots that are being launched now from several players, from OpenAI to Google to Alibaba and so on. We do remain with the position. We think there is a very significant upside, and we do expect some big deleveraging of the overall structure, either via the spin-off of the telecom network or potentially via capital increase. Away from that, the rest of the book was relatively uneventful, with some small gains on the macro side. And we had a good run on some of the distressed position, specifically Banco Espirito Santo. We've noticed an increased buying interest since the beginning of last year. That has been supported recently from the exit of the good bank that was spun off, Novo Banco, out of the European state aid procedures, and with results which are quite astonishingly better than the expectation at the time of the bank first receivership in 2015. And subsequently, there is a very decent chance of either an IPO or some consolidation play on the Novo Banco, and that would support our claims. We've seen a decent amount of buying on those, and we do expect more and more chances of a settlement in the next couple of years with the Portuguese authorities, which actually happen to be still a very large investor in the new Novo Banco, the good bank. But from that, obviously, we see plenty of pressure on the banking system in US. We see there is a big decoupling, very different from the European crisis in the 2011 onwards, where actually the banking system in US seems a lot more exposed because less regulated than the European ones, which is probably more concentrated, more regulated, and more capitalized. So our expectation is that European banking system will outperform the Americans, and that's how we position pretty much. Still, our big shorts structurally remains asset managers, which we think will be suffering quite significantly going forward. Away from that, from a macro point of view, we see central banks to be still very keen on quantitative tightening, and partially because of the resilience of the economy, which is probably the right approach short term, but medium term we think there's a big elephant in the room, which is artificial intelligence, that will unleash a massive deflationary wave like we've never seen before. And I think it's a matter of 12 to maybe 24 months max, and we'll start seeing a lot of pricing pressure on a lot of very well paid jobs, and at the same time lots of layoffs and reduction on the employment force for many companies. Thank you.